So I had this idea come to me this week.
Okay.
And it's basically like teenagers making money or prepping kids to be successful in their adult years.
Yeah.
We have this idea that, oh, you can't make money until you're 18. And I feel like that's a big disability because as soon as a kid can understand the mechanics of money, they're able to go out and produce it if you give them the tools to do so. Mm-hmm. And the tools are very, very simple. It's about service. And so, it's like kids grow up if they're, they're going to school, their parents are working, they go through high school, and the high school is pushing, go to college. You got to go to college. And this is all a prep to get money. This is all a scheme for the institutions to get money with zero accountability. There's no guarantee that you're going to go to college and you're just going to come out of college and here's a 6-figure job. And even then, even if you get the 6-figure job, it's still a job. So these kids are not being equipped to understand the mechanics of providing a service or providing a product and acquiring customers and providing ongoing service to those customers, building up a Rolodex of customers and creating the life that whatever they want, And so it's like everyone defaults to, well, I'm going to go to high school, and then when I graduate, maybe I'll go get a job at a restaurant. Or maybe I'll go get a job at a warehouse, or maybe this, maybe that. Either way, the end result is you're going to go beg someone for work.
Yeah. You're
going to go put out your application. May I please work for you? May I please work for you? And it's like, dude, what is that? That's for someone whose parents just totally neglected them, I feel. Like, if we're going to be like ultra accountable here, like, there's no reason why kids, when they're 13, 14, 15, 16, I feel like 16, you should be making money. There's no reason.
I agree. And, I feel I've got a couple points on that. I think this is a really great topic. And what I want to point out is this is a lie that has been told to you by society, and it's new, okay? Where people say, well, I've been doing the college thing, and my parents did the college thing, get a job thing. Okay, but this is a very small window of time, okay?
Yeah.
There's an age that came on called the industrial age. It came on, I think, in the late 1800s, early 1900s, right? Before the industrial age, everybody had a trade.
Right.
Okay. So you would become a seamstress, right? You would be a blacksmith,
Yeah.
You might be a farmer. Everybody had their own trade, and they basically, for all intents and purposes, were running their own business.
Yeah.
And then they would trade services with each other, maybe trade goods with each other, goods for services, whatever it might be. But everybody was self-sustaining and self-sufficient prior to the industrial age, because there wasn't a bunch of big box companies out there taking on employees, for the most part. And then the industrial age came in, and factories were built, and big stores were built, and then they started offering jobs, and people saw it as an easy way to make money. But here is the crime. What they're doing is they're taking their time. People are trading their valuable lifetime for money.
Yeah.
And it's very, very under the value of the person, okay? So, for example, when I used to go out and I'd DJ a wedding, I'd make $1,000. Now, if I worked for somebody else, I would make $300 to $400.
Right.
Instead of $1,000.
Sure.
But when I started my own company, I went out and I charged $1,000 for a 4-hour wedding. I made all that money. There was no middleman. There was no, top, of the company taking money out of my paycheck and so on.
Yeah.
But I think so many people have gotten so used to the idea of making the lowest dollar, and they think it's okay just because it's what's happened. Now, we also saw very early on that kids would go out and they would have a cookie stand or a lemonade stand, right? And they would just set it up on the corner and make money. And to me, that was the most encouraging thing. Whether you were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, you were out there doing your own thing, seeing that you can generate your own money on your own without the help of a big box company or the government or anybody else. Now, it's my impression that the government and definitely the big box companies don't want this. They don't want you or your children to become self-sufficient. They want you to be sucking on the tit of this conglomerate. And I see so many people get into it. And then when I'm trying to teach people how to start their own businesses, they're like, well, I just can't quit my job because of the insurance. And I'm like, okay, well, how much does your insurance cost? They go, well, it's for me and my family, so it's $700 a month. Okay, so if I can show you how to make your own salary plus $700 a month, if I can show you how to build a business that pays you the exact same amount of money or more and also gives you the $700 a month to pay your insurance, then you shouldn't be a slave to that company anymore. And man, that's a scary thing for so many people. They're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can break away. So I'm like, let go of security for success. Right. Let go of the good so you can get to the great. Okay. And what I hate about the collegiate, scheme, as I like to think of it, is that everybody's like, you got to go to high school and then you got to finish college. You got to go right to college. And you know what I've seen in college? Because I've had multiple kids in college now. Okay. What I've seen is that these kids, these poor kids, they go to college and then their poor parents are doling out tens of thousands of dollars. Sometimes, like one of our friends sent their kid to Cornell, and luckily they got a good scholarship, but that ain't cheap, bro. I'm talking like $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year times 4. And then if you want anything better than a bachelor's of arts, then you got to go do another 2 to 4 years, right? So they're just sucking the money out of us. And here's what I was getting at. The worst part, the crime, is that these kids, anywhere from their 2nd, 3rd, or even their 4th year in college, still don't know what they want to be. So wait a minute. You're telling me that we're, as parents, going to dole out tens of thousands of dollars. On top of that, the children, the kids that are just new adults, are taking on student loans as well. Because even the tens of thousands of dollars that we spend every year isn't enough. So the kids end up having to go into debt before they even have a decent job, before they've started a career. And now they're 3rd year in college going, I think I'm going to change my major because I don't like what I chose. And I'm like, holy crap, why didn't we wait? Why didn't we wait until we figured out what your passion was before we started going into schooling? Or even better, why didn't we help you build your own business?
And that's what I want to just kind of rewind it, and go to like the 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds right now.
Way before college.
There's one thing, this is in the propaganda machine as well, that you got to do something that you're passionate about. You got to do something you love. Okay. You have to take this personality test, and then based on your personality test results, this is what industry you should be in. And there's some relevance there. I get it. That's cool. That's probably something, these are things that you're probably going to enjoy more in that moment. But we have to also recognize that as we age, our interests are always changing. And so what the personality test you took maybe your senior year in high school,
when you didn't know yourself,
you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, it says I should be a chef, or it says I should be a sales manager, or whatever it is, and it's like, dude, in a couple of years that's going to change. Maybe in 6 months that's going to change. Let's go back to the fundamentals even before that and say, hey, can you go out and make $100 today?
Right.
And That is the first level here.
So when we're talking about that age group, again, they haven't really even they haven't found themselves. They haven't figured out all their interests.
Yeah.
I mean, we as people change every 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
What I was into 3 years ago, I'm not into now.
Sure.
I wasn't playing tennis with you 3 to 5 years ago, but now it's something that we like to do.
Yeah, man.
I wasn't podcasting 3 to 5 years ago, but then we found that we like it now.
Yeah.
So let's say you're at that, 13, 14, 15, maybe even a 10-year-old, right? And you want to make a little money. You're maybe not going to go out and start a massive company, but what can you do?
So I had this idea earlier this week, and it's basically every neighborhood, has a trash day. Mm-hmm. Every neighborhood has a trash day, and I just had this idea. I'm like, man, imagine, a 12, 13, 14-year-old kid knocks on your door, says, "Hey, sir, my name is Steven, and I'm your neighbor here. And I would like to be a future business owner. I'm learning skills of being an entrepreneur, and I would just like to see if I could take your trash out every week. Mm-hmm. I will show up before trash day. Just let me know where your trash cans are. Make sure the gate's open for me. Make sure I have access. Make sure there's no dogs. And I'll take your trash out. The trash will come, on that day, and then I will come back the following afternoon, return the trash cans, and you'll never have to worry about taking out the trash again. Mm-hmm. It's only $5 a week.
I do it all day long.
$5 a week?
Kid said that to me. Here's $5.
Dude, and this is not something like, oh, I'm so passionate about taking out the trash. Yeah. No, kid. This is about, can you go out and make a couple $100 today?
Yeah, generate some money on your own.
That's it.
In your own neighborhood with what you've got.
And so how many houses are in your neighborhood? Mm-hmm. Hundreds.
And it takes no equipment. It takes nothing.
It takes a little bit of energy and a little bit of pushing past that discomfort.
Courage, a little courage.
A little bit of courage, a little bit of energy.
Yeah.
And, dude, how many houses could a kid hit in one evening?
I mean,
for a couple hours.
I could see you easily hitting 20 houses.
Easily 20 houses.
That's $100.
Yeah.
And at 12 years old, if I had $100
every week,
rich. Rich.
So, so how does this translate to the young mind? Maybe you want better clothes. Maybe you want some new shoes. Maybe Maybe you want a new video game.
Yeah.
Maybe you want a new bike. Whatever it is.
Right.
Like I said, as you age, your interests are going to change, and the sooner you can stop asking people, "Hey, mom, can I get $5?
Right.
Hey, dad, can I get this?" No. You are able enough to go out and make a few bucks.
I love it. And we both are on the same page when it comes to not being a slave to the system.
And that's it. If a kid does not develop these basic fundamentals of providing service, getting income to create their life, they will find themselves as young adults going out and begging for a job.
Yeah.
There's two options here. Like, you're going to create your own life, or you're going to go beg some stranger to pay you a wage in exchange for your time.
And probably browbeat you and give you a bunch of crap and write you up for being 5 minutes late. Yeah.
Man.
What I love about what you're preaching here is that you're teaching children to be creators and self-sufficient. Like, okay, I need a little bit of money. How can I get it without going and begging for a job and trading all of my time for a little bit of money? You teach a child this. You teach a child how to fish, right? You can give them a fish, they eat for a day. You teach them how to fish, they eat for a lifetime. So this can translate into a child growing up a little bit and going, hey, I'm 17, I'm 18, I'm 22, whatever it is, and go, you know what? I need to make a little extra money. What can I do here right now?
Right.
And I did this as a child too. I had a lawnmower and a rake.
Yeah, man.
And I thought to myself, well, I've got 15 houses on my street, And I went down and I knocked on every door and I said, hey, $20 a month, I'll come by, I'll mow your lawn, I'll rake your leaves and get it going.
Yeah.
Those are what I had in my garage that my parents had bought. So I took what I had and I went out there and people were pretty happy to pay me.
Yeah.
And I think that you can do that in so many ways. And now, that was the old days. So we're talking about the old ways where you and I grew up,
Yeah.
where all you had was, what was right in front of you. But now with the internet and with social media, you can do really anything. You can literally make videos on YouTube. I have one family friend, their kids started a YouTube channel in their teen years and got followers, man.
Yeah.
And guess what? YouTube started sending them checks just for doing their videos.
Yeah.
And these kids had not even hit 18 years old yet. And then you have, my daughter has a friend that was creative. And so she would find stones, nice little stones, and polish them up, or buy some stones and polish them up, and then she'd buy some copper wire and start to weave this copper around the stones and would make necklaces.
Yeah.
And so she would spend all of about $5 per necklace, and she would put them on her social media for $45 to $55.
Yeah.
And people were buying them like hotcakes, man.
Yeah.
And she created this all herself with something that she just did anyway. She was making her own jewelry anyway.
Yeah.
So why not monetize that? And now this girl has a different perspective on life. She's like, hey, now I'm making, $2,000 or $3,000 a month selling these little jewelry pieces. And she's self-sufficient.
It's empowering. And to not download these principles into children, you're disabling their entire life path.
And you're setting them up for slavery.
You're setting them up for slavery. And even though a child says, oh, I don't want to, I'm uncomfortable here, this is weird, I don't know, everyone feels weird. This conversation will never go away. The money conversation will be front and center in your life forever.
Yeah.
There's no escaping this.
No,
So
not in this
get
world.
it quick.
Yeah.
Get it quick and push past that discomfort, because we all do.
Well, everything good comes from struggle, and I think people really don't get that. Anything that you have done in life, anything that you have achieved in life came from a struggle. If you achieved a goal, if you won a prize, if you competed in a contest, when I first DJ'd my first event, I was freaked out.
Yeah.
I'm in front of people by myself and I've got to entertain them. It was hard to get through, but I made it through. And you know what that did? That made me strong.
Yeah.
Right?
You're building character, and your discomfort is not unique, That's across the board. And so
Par for the course.
learn how to create something that you can go and serve people. Like I said, as simple as, hey, I would love to take out your trash this week and do it every week. It's $5 a week, and I'll show up. You be dependable. You show up and you provide service. And if you can do that consistently, now you've built up a business. Maybe you get 20 accounts and you realize I can't do all of this myself, and you get one of your other buddies, your other 12, 13, 14-year-old buddy. Hey, you want to make, you guys split it now. And now, dude, we're talking about like creation. We're talking about real empowerment for kids, and most especially for kids of successful parents. Like you said, they're given fish. So why would they want to learn how to fish?
Right.
So there's this inverse motivating factor happening for kids of successful parents, that they lose the ability to fish. Their parents came up in a way that they had to fish. They wanted it. They were self-motivated to say, dude, my shoes are ripped up and nasty. My clothes are disgusting. How do I figure out how to make a few bucks here?
Right.
You don't wait until, oh, this is my ultimate passion. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. No, that will never be. That's an illusion. Like, again, there's a time and place for doing stuff that you want
and love,
but there's also more precedent for, hey, get out and make a couple $100 this week.
It's the mindset of being able to be self-sufficient. So I'm just gonna say this, man.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this. If you're not teaching your child how to generate their own capital and how to create their own income, then you are making them a helpless person. Okay.
Real.
Here's a prime example. Okay. We've talked about it. Like, if you teach somebody how to build a business, then they'll never be without a job. Okay. Now, here's the example I want to share. 2 kids get lost in the forest. One kid was taught by his dad how to hunt and fish and live off the land and find the plants that are medicine and find the plants that can be eaten as food. The other child didn't learn any of that. At the end of a month, what you have is one child that learned how to survive and one child that died because they were helpless.
It's that real. And listen, kids, as they grow older and they're unable to fend for themselves, to produce for themselves, they will fall into alcoholism. They will fall into drug abuse. They will fall into depression, overeating. Okay. There's a whole road here that not being able to produce and feel empowered and creative and say, you know what, I'm going to survive. I got this.
Yeah.
That's the fundamentals of
I didn't think about that.
Creating an able adult. That's our job as parents, is to get these kids, worked up to a level that they can go out and produce,
on their own
and be self-sufficient. And so again, there's only 2 roads here. Like, they're either going to get this and they're going to, they're going to go on and be confident and know that they can create, or they're going to go and they're going to ask for help and they're going to say, oh my God, I need help. They're going to ask family, can I have money for this? They're going to go beg for a job. They're going to go do things for wages that, again, it's not you creating, it's you begging.
Yeah.
So,
and the thing that I think about too, and maybe this will be our final point, is you're not going to be living one day. As a parent, you are not going to outlive your child in most cases.
Right.
Okay. And one day they're going to have to fend for themselves. So have you taught them to be self-sufficient, or have you taught them to be dependent?
Yeah.
Are you setting your child up to thrive after you pass away or not? Because most cases we're going to grow old and die. But you know what? I've had a buddy a couple years ago was out riding a skateboard with his kids. He fell. He hit his head on the curb. This is a guy in his late 30s. He died.
Yeah.
And his parent and his family did not have a husband anymore, did not have a father anymore. So he didn't have the time to waste. So whether you are dying of old age or whether you pass tomorrow, did you teach your kids to be self-sufficient?